Greetings, voyagers, and welcome to another one of my soon-to-be world-famous one-take smartphone videos from the road. We are in Guymon, Oklahoma. And let me tell you how we got here. It's Sunday, the 22nd of December. We left Salem on Monday the 16th. And it had been getting cold in Salem. We had been seeing temperatures in the 20s in the daytime and in the teens at night. And I was really eager to get south. I had lived all of my 68 winters in a cold place, Boston, upstate New York, or Montana, and it was time for a warm winter. And I just wanted to get as far south as I could, as fast as I could. So the plan was take Interstate Route 95 right through downtown Boston, or under the tunnel actually, and then I-95, because that's the shortest way to get south from Boston. However, we had some things that had to get done first before we left, and it was 1:30 in the afternoon when we finally left, which meant that would have put us right smack dab in the middle of rush hour traffic in New York City. No thank you. Been there, done that. I've driven through New York several times, and it would have been a nightmare. Even at 1 o'clock in the morning, I came through there one time. The George Washington Bridge was bumper to bumper, creep and crawl. Same thing with the Cross Bronx Expressway. And then we had some expenses too, unplanned expenses. And so when you add up the tolls between getting through Boston and New York, it probably would have cost us about $50. So plan B, I had to come up with a plan B. So instead we drove out Route 2 from Boston, all across the top of Massachusetts into New York State, came down into Troy, Albany, and out to Schenectady, and then Duanesburg, where we stayed Monday night. Now I knew if we could get to Duanesburg, there would be a place where we could crash for the night, a parking area, and you saw that in my last video. And I knew there was a snowstorm coming in overnight. And I didn't want to drive, so I figured if we wake up Tuesday morning and it's bad, we'll just hunker down and wait out the storm. Well, when we got up on Tuesday morning, it had already snowed some, not much. And we were, according to the forecast, the storm was half done, halfway over. And it hadn't snowed very much at all, and at that time the snow had stopped completely and the roads were clear. The snowplows had done a great job, so I figured, well, hell, man, let's jump on it. Let's get some miles behind us. So we got about 20 miles down the road when it started to snow again, and then sleet, and then rain, and snow, and sleet, and rain, and slush. And every time a truck would pass, it would spray up muddy water on the windshield, and the driving was terrible. It was slippery, and you had to be very careful, so it was a tough drive. But I knew if we kept going, we'd break through the storm on the other side, and we eventually did. And it placed us in Wilkes, Pennsylvania, which is where we were going to stay anyway, the Mohegan Sun Casino. We'd stayed there before. They let you park overnight in their parking lot, which is great. But when I pulled off the interstate to go to Mohegan Sun onto Route 315, I heard this loud tapping, knocking, almost a grinding sound coming from under the hood, and I go, oh my God, now what? So we pulled in a casino and we stayed the night, and I popped open the hood and I'm listening, and I'm thinking it's the cooling fan motor that had burned out its bearings, and it was making a lot of noise because the sound was coming from right behind the radiator. So we got up in the morning and left, and there was a garage right down the bottom of the hill. So we pulled in. They couldn't take us. They had too much work. They sent us up the street to Jack Williams, tire dealer and auto repair. And they were very good. They were very hospitable, nice people. And they took the van right in. I told them what I think was going on. They called me back out into the shop, about 10 minutes later, and they said, "You got a bigger problem than your fan motor." And they had the hood open, and I could hear it. It was really loud, and it was coming from right near where the valve covers were, valve cover on the right side of the engine. And he said, "That's a bigger job. There's something internal in your engine, like a camshaft or push rods or something, and we don't do that kind of work here." Oh, great. And I said, "If you had to guesstimate a price on that," he said, "well, probably a couple thousand just for labor and then parts. So you're looking probably, $3,000-4,000. And my heart just sank. I thought, what a nightmare. I'm stranded here. And so they called the Ford dealership and got the service manager on the phone. And I told him, and he said, "Well, we couldn't even look at it until after Christmas." I said, "Well, after Christmas?" He says, "Well, we're busy and a guy's going on vacation. I can't even look at it until after Christmas." So that wasn't going to work. So there was another Ford dealership, and the same story there. And I said, "Don't you guys know of a local mechanic that I could go to?" And one of them said, "Yeah, there's Joe Ferack. He's only a couple of miles away. I'll give him a call." So I got on the phone with him, and he said, "Well, if it's what they're talking about, internal engine work," he said, "I couldn't get to it till after Christmas." I went, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" He says, "Well, I got guys going out on Christmas vacation. I'm always busy." And he said, "And if you need internal engine work, like camshaft and all that, then how many miles are on it?" And I told him. He said, "What year is it?" And he said, "You might as well put a new engine in it, because I'm going to have to take the engine out to work on it anyway." And I said, "Oh my God." And so he said, "Well, bring it over. I'll look at it and we'll see what's going on, and we'll take it from there." So he's just a couple miles away. I got over there, and we were sitting in there, and he sent his mechanic out to look at it. I gave him the key. He sent his mechanic out. His mechanic came back in 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes, and he said, "The problem is I got to get this right now, the serpentine belt tensioner pulley has burned out its bearings, and it's loose, and it's flopping around in there, and it's slapping up against the cover." And I breathed a huge sigh of relief, because I know that's a relatively minor job. So Joe Ferack, he was great. Really, really hospitable. He said, "Well," he said, "we'll take it. We'll do it right now. We'll get you back on the road. I know you're itching to get to Arizona. I don't blame you." He said, "So we'll take care of you and get you back on the road." And they had us out of there in an hour. I couldn't believe it. And the price was astoundingly lower than I thought it would be. I'm not going to quote you the exact price, because I'm not going to give anybody any false expectations. But if you have a problem with your vehicle, you take it to Joe Ferack. And his mechanic was an excellent diagnostician, and they did the work right away. They were very good to us. But I will tell you this, I'll ballpark it for you. It came in at under $200, okay? So that was a shock to my system, but a good shock. So they had us back on the road in an hour. So many thanks to Joe Ferack Auto Service. I'm going to put their contact information in the description below. But while I was going through these existential angst over my van, I called my friend John out in Denver, and I said, "Listen," this could be a serious issue, major engine overhaul. It could cost me $3,000-4,000. And he said, "Well, if it's under $5,000, I can put it on my credit card and I'll cover you for it," because he knows I'll pay him back. So fortunately, it turned out to be not that at all, and that's great. So many thanks to Joe Ferack, and a huge shout out to my friend John for being there when I needed him. I called him, and he said, "You must be in trouble if you're calling me looking for support." Oh, God. So then we got on Route 81 south, down through Virginia, into Tennessee, across Arkansas. Route 81 became Route 40, and all the way across Oklahoma. We're just on the edge of Oklahoma, and here we are. And it's nice. It's warm. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but I don't even have I'm standing outside. I don't even have my sweater on. I'm just in my shirt sleeve, and it's not too bad. So it was 59 degrees when we stopped in Woodward about an hour ago. So already it's getting warmer, and it feels great. And I can't wait to get to Arizona and put I think I might buy some. We should be there. Today's the 22nd, and it's Sunday, the 22nd, and we should be in Arizona by Christmas, probably in a couple of days. And I'm probably going to stop at Walmart and buy some Christmas lights and decorate a cactus for Christmas. So, yeah. I haven't stopped for anything. I haven't stopped for any sightseeing, nothing. And I've seen a lot of abandoned homes and farmsteads here in Oklahoma. It's kind of sad, really. Who knows what the stories are behind them. But, I'm into photographing abandoned properties, but I couldn't stop. There's just too many of them, and I don't want to take the time. I just want to get to Arizona. It's been 6 days on the road, and I'm really tired of driving. These interstate highways scare the hell out of me. I had a couple of close calls, and the people are nuts out there, 70 miles an hour, and yikes. So I just want to get to Arizona. We're on a secondary highway now, yeah, we'll be there in a couple of days. And we'll get caught up again a little further on down the road. So, the voyage continues. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Peace and out.